In this video, I'm going to do 3 slightly harder examples of multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So I'm going to cover these 3 examples. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you kind of know the basic idea behind this, but you were looking for just a little bit more. So let's jump into it. So starting with the first one. So I've got this whole crazy looking thing here. So the first thing I notice is that this has 4 terms. So this is really like screaming for us to use grouping. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So actually, why don't I go ahead and just highlight this for a second? So grouping always takes 2 steps to do. And I want to just write everything out in its factored form. So let's go ahead and do the 2 steps, and then we can use the final answer in our multiplication. So out of the first 2 terms, I'm going to factor out x squared. So this becomes x squared times x minus 9. And then out of the second 2 terms, I'll factor out 2. Okay, so now that I've factored that out, I can see that this is going to factor x squared plus 2 and x minus 9. Okay, so now let's go ahead and factor everything. So this is going to be x squared plus 2, x minus 9, and then in the bottom here, I'm going to factor out 6, so this will be x minus 6. And then let's see, this will factor x plus 9, x minus 6, and then, so in this case, this is 81 minus x squared. So the number comes first. So when I'm factoring this, I have to write 9 minus x and 9 plus x. So normally we see x squared minus 81, but now everything's flip-flopped, so I have to also factor in a flip-flopped order. Okay, so there's a whole lot of things that can cancel out here. The things that I noticed right away, this x plus 9 can cancel out. This x minus 6 can cancel out. And then we have this x minus 9 and this 9 minus x. So this is going to require that we use that -1 trick, the multiplicative property of -1, to do this. So I am trying to save space here, so I'm actually going to make a little adjustment right here. So I'm going to erase this. I'm going to put a negative in front, and then I'm going to rewrite this as x minus 9 so that I can actually cancel those things out. Now, a pro tip on this, I wrote a negative here, but a lot of times what I notice when I'm grading things that look like this are that people actually lose the negative. So if you are prone to that error, you can also just write a big old -1 here. So hopefully you won't accidentally drop that. And now what that allows me to do is I can cancel out these x minus 9s. And so in the end, I'm left with x squared plus 2 over -6, and that's as far as I can go with that. I can't cancel any farther. Now, if you're saying you want to cancel out the 2 and the -6, the only way that you could do that is you would have to break this into 2 separate fractions, which is just more work. And then this 2 over 6 can be rewritten as 1/3. But I can't just cancel the 2 and the 6 out here. I have lots of videos where I explain why that is, but this would be canceling too much, so we have to leave it as is. Okay, so for B here, so I have just a slightly more complicated set of things to factor. This is slightly harder. This is also a division problem. So I need to recognize that this 2x plus 5 to the 7th is over an invisible 1 so that I can set up the multiplication problem. So with division, you always want to set up the multiplication first. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over 2x plus 5 to the 7th. And then, you know what, I'm actually going to erase this. Let's go ahead and just factor this. So this is going to factor as 2x plus 5 and then x plus 2. And there's actually kind of a hint for this one since one of the factors is 2x plus 5. I kind of feel like this needs to factor out or like get canceled out on some level. So when I was making my guess for like how to factor this, I figured that 2x plus 5 probably had to be one of the factors. So sometimes you can leverage the problem to figure out some of the factorizations. Okay, so anyways, so now what can cancel out? Well, one factor of 2x plus 5 can cancel out here. So I can subtract 1 from this exponent. And then I'll be left with x plus 2. Actually, I don't need the parentheses here. X plus 2 over 4x minus 7 times 2x plus 5 to the 6. Okay, so for this last one, so let's go ahead and factor everything, and we'll go ahead and we'll flip the second fraction too. So this is 25 minus x squared, so since the number comes first, this is going to be 5 minus x. 5 plus x, and then let's see, this is going to factor just 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. Okay, so now I need to flip this second fraction, so now this is going to be 3x minus 1 on top, and I can factor 4 out, so this is going to be x minus 5. Okay, so now what can I cancel? Well, I can cancel out this 3x minus 1. And then I have 5 minus x and x minus 5, so this is going to require the -1 trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a negative in front of this 4, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip this. So I'm just doing that for space considerations. You're going to want to make that really clear if you are using that trick that you flipped that. Okay, so now that I've done that, the 5 minus x's can drop out. And so then I'm left with 5 plus x over -4 times 3x minus 1. And so that's as far as that one will go. Okay, so if you found that helpful, please consider hitting the like button. And I'm going to leave it at that, so I will talk to you guys in another video. Thanks for watching.